Extravaganza. Oh my gosh. Guys, I have a pro wrestling background. I call this the WrestleMania of Herbalife. Okay? This is the main event, guys. In Vegas this year, if nothing else, at the MGM Grand, we're taking over the Strip, are we not? Yes? And from what I hear, this isn't coming from my mouth, I hear this is going to be the biggest and baddest extravaganza that has ever been. And let me tell you, there's been some pretty good ones. I cannot wait for this event to come up. And here's why. It was July of 2009. And honestly, quite by accident, my wife and I, in this business, somehow, I don't even think we realized, we hit World Team. We weren't really interested in doing business. I, for one, my wife started about a year ahead of me, but I, for one, was not interested. We hit VIP by accident. So then over the course of the leadership weekend, she invited me out to a meeting. Yeah, no pressure. I'm sitting at the front tables. I don't even know what's going on, and I'm in front. Okay, and here I am wearing jeans, t-shirt, and I'm seeing guys like Mr. Tarl here and everybody wearing suits and ties. I'm like, okay, did I just come underdressed? I was just very, you know, I was clueless, okay? And at the time, a gentleman who was very special to me, who's made an impact in my life, his name is Michael Burton. Some of you have had the privilege of meeting him and hearing him speak. He's been very influential in my Herbalife life. And what's interesting is that weekend, my wife and I qualified for the dinner cruise. And I was talking about this earlier. Well, this guy, you know, Michael, he's into fitness, okay? And he, you know, there's a bit of a subculture attitude going on there about, you know, bodybuilder. He kind of points me out, hey, you work out. Comes to see me and talks to me, okay? And at the time, my wife and I were at a financial crossroads. We came from a 6-figure salary. We were doing pretty good. My wife is in real estate. California, that's a doozy, right? And I was actually in corporate America as well, but then I made the switch into the entertainment industry. Did pretty good until the writer's strike happened. And I was in professional wrestling as well. Then we had a baby. So out of necessity, we opened up a nutrition club. Or, sorry, not a nutrition club, a fitness club. You know, a personal training studio. Anyways, back to the weekend. So we're talking. And I really hit it off with Michael. And, you know, he was asking me about what it is we're doing, and honestly, I had no idea. I was clueless about anything about the marketing plan, none of that. This was all by accident. And then he starts talking about October, and how October was a big deal, and that I had to make, by any means necessary, get to Extravaganza that year. And in that time, our financial situation was pretty dire. Okay, we didn't have two nickels to rub together. And I said, Michael, I had a hard part with him. I said, listen, you know, who was in Extravaganza in 2009? Raise your hands. Guys, this was in Atlanta, Georgia. Okay, and I told Michael, I said, Michael, we have airfare, let alone, we don't have airfare, let alone hotel tickets, and I don't even think we can buy the tickets to Extravaganza as well. I mean, we don't have the money. He looked me straight in the eye and he continued to talk to me for about 10 minutes. And he said, Shane, whatever you do what you have to get to Extravaganza. I'm telling you right now, and if any of you know Michael Burton, you'll know how emotional and how passionate he is when he speaks about some of these things. And I mean, like I said, I just met this guy and he just laid it on. He said, Shane, get to Extravaganza. Do what you have to do. It will accelerate your business by 2 to 5 years. It was at that moment, because of our situation, that I assessed the situation after a conversation. I said, you know, who am I? Who am I? You know, yeah, I could be full of ego and be a business owner, a broke business owner, mind you. But, you know, this isn't for me, because I'm a business owner, right? But who am I to question it when I've got a multimillionaire telling me to do something that's going to help change my life? Okay, so I went to my wife and talked about it. I said, listen, this is what I had this conversation about. We need to go. So, end result, we made the decision, we made the commitment. We sold furniture, we begged, borrowed from family, did what we could. We even made plans to go with another distributor, the only one that we had in our downline at the time. And we made it happen. October 2009, Atlanta Extravaganza. And if y'all don't mind, would you guys like to hear some of this from my wife as well? Because she's very much a part of it.
Yes, sister.
So I wanted her to come up because obviously, to her credit, she got into Herbalife before I did. And I wanted her to share with you because I want her to paint a picture of exactly, I mean, I'm going to just leave it open. For the next few moments, guys, we're going to make our lives an open book for you guys. For those of you that are new in the room today, for those of you that have just become supervisors, I don't know where your financial position is. I don't know what your life is going on with right now. But if there's something that we can provide to you today to inspire you, and if you're in the position we were in, you can make this happen as well. Because this is real. And so I just want her to share her side of the story and the experience of what happened with us.
Hi. For the sake of time, I'll give you the nutshell, but when I turned 40 in a couple weeks, and when I turned 35, I had kind of a personal transformational moment where I actually was doing personal development, but didn't know that's what it was. If anybody's ever heard of Brian Tracy, anybody ever heard of Brian Tracy?
Oh yeah.
Just by chance, my brother recommended him to me, and for about a year, I listened to his a program that he had, literally like obsessively. Every time I was in the car, every time I was alone, every time I was working out. And I feel like that year, I realized I was totally, completely responsible for my life. Shocker, you know? And Shane and I had lots of big dreams and goals when we first met, got married, both very ambitious. My father's an entrepreneur, had, between my father and my 6 siblings, we had opened and closed 14 businesses. And some of them worked, some of them didn't. But at 35 years old, I realized it was about me and what I was or wasn't doing right. So it took about a year to kind of figure that out. So looking back, I was being prepared, and I don't believe anybody's in this room by accident. I think it's very much a matter of fate or destiny or whatever you want to call it. Somebody once said to me that most people in the world will not hear about Herbalife. Isn't that kind of crazy? Okay. Is that better? No? Can you hear me? Yeah. Okay. Most people will not have the privilege of hearing about Herbalife, so I don't think it's an accident that anybody's in this room right now. But anyway, long story short, I realized I had been looking for Herbalife before I ever found it. Now, ironically, when I turned 35 did a year of personal development, I was on the products, but didn't think I needed the business because we were doing well at the time. So the takeaway for you guys there is don't ever give up on somebody that you're talking to about the business. Be very patient and loving with them. My mentor was very patient and loving with me. She never made me feel bad, never got irritated with me. Once every 6 months, she would reach out to me and say, "Are you sure you don't want to consider this business opportunity?" And each time I said, "No, I live, we're good, we got it, we're all good, you know." But as life, you know, as Shane explained, life took a couple turning points for us, and they say every 6 months there's a life change in our life, and our life change was double-fold. It was my personal business kind of going down the toilet, and then us having a baby at the same time. So I think the key there is we got real desperate. So I called Carly up, my mentor, and very humbly said, "You said I could make money in this business?" This is 3 years of being on the product. And she said, "Yes, come to an STS." And so the next takeaway is that 1 hour, the 1 hour HOM we have this morning, the Herbalife Opportunity Meeting, that changed my life. I heard one mom who told her story that she was able to raise her kids around Herbalife, or work Herbalife around her kids, I guess. And I looked at Carly, and she happened to be making a 6-figure income, which spoke to me because that's kind of the background that I had. So I looked at her and I said, "For real, I could do this? Like, why haven't you told me this? You know?" She was, "Oh, okay," you know, very patient with me. So for about a year, I did work the business by myself, but it literally took just that one more